Hi, welcome back. Today we're going to continue the Proverbs series, but we're going to start with Proverbs 13. Have you read it before? What are the things you're able to get? When we're done, you'll be able to share yours in the comments. Thank you. Okay, Proverbs chapter 13. Wise children pay attention when their parents correct them. That's one of the things I got there. Wise children. There's some children that feel that the parents are doing too much, especially when they get to the teenage years. But we're being told that wise children pay attention when their parents correct them. So when we're being corrected, we should pay attention. Be careful what you say. Don't talk carelessly. We've seen this one in the previous chapters, that we shouldn't just open our mouths and start saying things anyhow. Sometimes people say so many things and they go into error. So when you don't know something or you want to say something that will not make sense or will not add value to the conversation, don't talk carelessly. Okay, no need to brag. No need to be proud. That's another thing from Proverbs chapter 13. Live your life and thank God for what you have. So we should be grateful for what we have. Okay, one more thing. Don't deceive people to get money, else you will lose it fast. Some people cook up so many stories to parents, to friends, to maybe even in their offices, and they want to deceive people to get money. Some even go online and deceive people. Some cook up some sub stories and they get money from people. To don't deceive people to get money. There's some that even use illnesses as deception to get money. They don't know that they're calling some things on themselves. You can imagine someone saying she has cancer just to get money. We shouldn't deceive people to get money because we'll lose it fast. And there are other things that come with it. Deception is not something we should do if we want blessings from God. Okay, one more thing from Proverbs 13. Have wise friends. Friends that will encourage you to be and do better. If you want to be wise, you have wise friends. If you don't want to be wise, you get friends that are not wise. And somehow, if you spend so much time with people that are not wise, you begin to sound like them. So we should get wise friends so that we'll be wise and we'll achieve so many things because they kind of push us to be better. Okay, if you are wicked and keep doing bad things, all the wealth, money you have will end up going to the righteous. That's the good people. If you keep doing, let me take it again. If you are wicked and you keep doing bad, all the wealth, the money you have will end up going to the righteous. Good people, that's the good people, and your children will not enjoy. That's in verse 22. Let's see. Proverbs chapter 13. Let's take a look. Proverbs chapter 13, verse 22. Okay, it says, good people will have wealth to leave to their grandchildren, but the wealth of sinners will go to the righteous. Do you want all you've worked for or all you've stolen, all you've suffered for to go to other people? We all want to leave good things for our children, inheritance. So when you've worked so hard and you've done so many things and you end up leaving this earth and your children don't benefit, what's the point? So we should try and be good people, not wicked people, so that all we've worked for will not end up in the hands of others. Okay. Verse 24, it says, train your children. Let me read it, verse 24. If you don't punish your son, you don't love him. If you do love him, you will correct him. We're not saying that we should deal with our children anyhow, but we should correct them in love. We shouldn't allow them grow up without being corrected, because when they grow old without correction, they become they become problematic and they don't do well in society. and we shouldn't encourage people like family members to become problems in the society. So we should train up our children so that by the time they grow older, they would become important people in life. Okay, that's all for Proverbs chapter 13. Let's look at Proverbs chapter 14. It says, don't tell lies. It's like if we look through the book of Proverbs, we have so many things, so many verses that talk about honesty. We should be honest. Don't tell lies. You find out that some people, no matter how old they are so used to telling lies that they grew up with, and it diminishes the image of it diminishes one's image. So stop telling lies. Try and be honest. Stay away from foolish people. Again, we're being told in verse 7. Let's take a look. Proverbs chapter 14. I'm reading from Good News version. Proverbs 14 verse 7. It says, stay away from foolish people. They have nothing to teach you. If you want to learn foolishness, that's what at least you. But who wants to be foolish? So stay away from foolish people. Stay with the wise so that you'll be wise. Okay, verse 12 says, what you think is the right road may lead to death. So let's always pray and ask God for direction. And okay, let me read the verse 12. It says, what you think is the right road may lead to death. So sometimes we don't know too much. We can't know everything since we're not God. So sometimes we should seek counsel. We should seek counsel. Okay, people with hot temper do foolish things. Verse 17 says that people with hot temper do foolish things. Let's learn to be patient. And verse 29 says something like that too. Proverbs chapter 14, verse 29. It says, if you stay calm, you are wise. But if you have a hot temper, you only show how stupid you are. Some people think by getting angry, getting upset anyhow, it shows. I don't know what they think actually. They need to go for anger management, because we're being told here, if you stay calm, you are wise. But if you have a hot temper, you only show how stupid you are. There's no profit in being angry all the time. We should learn to control our emotions. Okay, reverence God, fear God, respect God, honor God, not just with your lips, but with your actions, your words. And we shouldn't lie and cheat, as we're being told. We're being reminded in different chapters in this book of Proverbs that we shouldn't cheat, we shouldn't lie. Okay, jealousy is like a cancer. It says it in verse 30. It says, peace of mind makes the body healthy, but jealousy is like cancer. And King James says, rottenness of the bone is like your bone being rotten. So we should stop being envious. Why are you jealous of your neighbor? God has blessings for everybody. Just live right, honor God. Like we're being told, reverence Him, respect Him. He'll give you your own portion. It's not that if He gives your neighbor, He will not give you. No, what He has is enough for everybody. So there's no need to be envious, no need to be jealous, because you're like calling cancer on yourself, and we know how dangerous that is. Okay, it says, let's read verse 32. Wicked people bring about their own downfall by their evil deeds, but good people are protected by their integrity. Do you have integrity? So we should try and maintain that, have integrity, so that will not be brought down. Okay, verse 34 says, righteousness makes a nation great, and sin is a disgrace to any nation. It's a reproach. Sin is a reproach to any nation. So are you a partaker of that? Do you continue to bring destruction even in your own family or your own nation? They were being told that righteousness makes a nation great, but sin is a reproach to any people, any nation. And we're being told in verse 34. So what do? You pray for your nation, you do your part. Don't be a partaker of all the negative things happening in your own nation. Okay, we're done with the chapter 14. If you have any other thing to add, you can add in the comments section below. So let's look at Proverbs chapter 15. It says, God sees what happens everywhere. Everywhere. What do you do when people are not around? What do you do when you think you're alone? What do you do in your secret place? We're being told that God sees what happens everywhere. Let's read verse 3. The Lord sees what happens everywhere. He is watching us, whether you do good or you do evil. Do you pretend in the presence of people that you're a good person, meanwhile you're behind closed doors, you're evil? God sees all that, and the God that sees is the one that rewards. Because if you think you're deceiving people, you're just deceiving yourself actually, because it's God that is seeing everything that will reward. So if you're one of those that if you indulge in such things, it's for your own good change, because like I said before, the God that rewards is the one that sees whatever you do, be it in secret or even in the open. Okay, the sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord. That's in verse 8. The Lord is pleased when good people pray, but hates the sacrifice that wicked people bring. Some people do evil and they go to church and maybe pay their tithes, or they do evil behind closed doors. Then in front of people, they'll be like, okay, let me donate to charity, or let me help these people so that my name will be exalted and all that. But we're being told here the sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination. God does not like the sacrifice, no matter, even if you donate billions to help people, or you say you want to donate to even build a church or something. Though we're being told the sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination. When something is an abomination, that means the Lord hates it. He doesn't like it. But he takes delight in the prayers of the upright. God wants us to keep talking to him. Prayer is communication with God. It's not only when we have problems we talk to God. Sometimes we just worship him and thank him for what he's done, and for the fact that he created this earth and put us in it, and he sees us, he's with us every day. He wants to hear us talk to him. So God takes delight in the prayers of the upright, but the sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination. Some people go do some things, illegal things, then they come and say, oh God, thank you, here is, and God, whatever you're doing, that that, because sometimes as they're doing it, people know that what they're doing is not good, but they think they could bribe God by just bringing the money that God gave. Let's think about it. So the sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination. So if you're doing evil and yet coming to think that God will like you, or even if you just come and, some people just say, okay, I'll do this evil intentionally, then I'll come and apologize because God forgives. God looks at the heart too. He knows your motives, he knows your intentions, and we cannot deceive God. So let's not do things that God doesn't like. Okay, verse 9 says, the Lord hates the ways of evil people, but loves those who do what is right. Okay, so like what we said earlier, why do you want to do what the Lord hates? The way of the wicked is an abomination unto the Lord. So let's not indulge in things that God doesn't want us to do. Okay, let's read verse 11. It says, not even the world of the dead can keep the Lord from knowing what is there. How then can people hide their thoughts from God? So we can link this with the actions. God, he sees what we do, and he even sees our thoughts. The Bible says not even the world of the dead can keep the Lord from knowing what is there. So we just can't hide. Like there's this song, you can't hide it from God. You can hide it from your neighbor, you can hide it from your family, but you cannot hide it from God. The God that you come to for blessings, you can't hide it from him because he sees. Okay, we cannot hide our thoughts from God. So stop pretending. Be good instead of pretending to be good. You can't deceive God, as we've been told in verse 11. Okay, verse 15. Let's see what verse 15 says. The life of the poor is a constant struggle, but happy people always enjoy life. Okay, verse 15. Happy people always enjoy life. Be content with what you have, and you'll be happy. You enjoy the, no matter, some people think, okay, when I have all this money, when I have When I've maybe built my house, when I've, some people is when they say, okay, when they get married, some people is when they finish their school and all that. But whatever we have, at whatever stage we're in, we should try and be happy. We should focus on the Lord and be satisfied with what we have. We're not saying that you just stay there. You'll be thankful for what you have at that stage. Then you know that God will still take you further, and He will. Okay, let's see verse 16. Better to be poor and fear the Lord than to be rich and in trouble. Okay, so whatever, like we said, whatever state you are in, whatever situation, we should be thankful. Okay, verse 17 says, better to eat vegetables with people you love than to eat the finest sweets where there is hate. Sometimes we think, okay, well, some people sit in their maybe low estate and admire people in mansions and so on. You don't know what's going on in families. So whatever situation you're in, you should be grateful because God is protecting you from things that you don't know. And some people will just sit down and tell God, oh, I wish my life was exactly like that other person. Because maybe we see the cars, we see the houses, we think, okay, everything is just rosy. Don't just thank God for your situation. We pray for better things, but at whatever situation, like we said, you should be grateful and be thankful to God. Okay, verse 22 says, seek counsel, get advice before starting a project. You should seek counsel. You want to build a house, look for those ones that have built, ask them how they've done it. You want to start a business, look for people that have done it before. You ask because you don't need to, like they say, reinvent the wheel. Somebody has done a particular line of business you want to go into, ask the person, because the person must have faced hurdles. Is it the certificates, or maybe how they've dealt with government licenses and all that? We should seek advice, and so that it will help us succeed. That's what we're being told in verse 22. Okay, let's see verse 27. If you try to make a profit dishonestly, you'll get your family into trouble. Don't take bribes and you'll live longer. Let me read that again. Verse 27. If you try to make a profit dishonestly, you'll get your family into trouble. So do you want to get your family into trouble? Some people don't even think about that. When they just do dishonest things, bribe people, do wrong things, and before you know it, their whole family, they're in trouble, and they'll start running from pillar to post to get themselves out of it. So when we want to make profit, let's be honest in whatever we do. Even relationships with people, don't cheat people in businesses, and we should do the right thing. Like some people try to cut corners. They're building homes for people instead of using the right measurement, the right tools, the right maybe wires or metals. They start using substandard ones, and at the end of the day, the whole house will just collapse, like what we're seeing in places these days. And that's not good. Some, they can't run away with their family. Some will just run away and leave their family members to suffer. All that is not good. So whatever you're doing, if you try to make a profit dishonestly, you'll get your family in trouble. Okay, verse 29 says, when good people pray, the Lord listens, but He ignores those who are evil. When good people pray, the Lord listens, but He ignores those who are evil. Do you want God to ignore you? We all need God's help, because in this world, the devil is around and he does bad things, and we need God's help to survive in this earth. So when you are evil and you pray, God will just ignore you. But the Lord listens. And okay, when good people pray, the Lord listens. And we want God to always listen to us. So if you're doing evil, you have the opportunity to change, so that God will help you and you will succeed. Okay, we'll stop here. What have you learned? Any lesson on when you're ready? Did you find anything that we've not mentioned? You can share in the comments. Okay, thanks for joining us. Please like, share, subscribe. Thank you.